Fredo Bang's story begins on the south side of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a city where talent and tragedy often grow on the same block. Born Frederick Duan Thomas Givens II on March 29, 1996, he came up in neighborhoods that would later be name-checked in his music, places that shaped his cadence, his worldview, and his circle. As a teenager, he gravitated toward a crew of young rappers who recorded at makeshift home setups, and before long he found his lane within Top Boy Guerrilla, a local movement that would become both his springboard and his burden. Years later, national listeners would meet him as Fredo Bang, the Baton Rouge voice behind viral records like Oouuh and Top, but the foundation was built long before that in small rooms with bigger dreams. The relationship that most defined Fredo's early life and artistic identity was with Garrett "Da Real G Money" Burton. The two knew each other from school and adolescence. Brothers is the word most people around them used. G Money possessed a charismatic authenticity that resonated locally, and Fredo channeled raw emotion and detail in a way that balanced him. Together with TBG peers like BLV Deli Mel and YMM Captain, they found their first pulse of attention with the crew record iPhone 6, released in early 2015, a snapshot of Baton Rouge teen life that started making noise beyond their block. For Fredo, that song was the nudge from kid rapping with friends to "this might be a career." Baton Rouge isn't just a music scene, it's an ecosystem of overlapping alliances, family ties, and rivalries. NBA YoungBoy also comes from Baton Rouge, and in the mid-2010s, his rise overlapped culturally with TBG's trajectory. What began as hometown competitiveness hardened into an open rift between NBA's camp and TBG. One flashpoint arrived in 2017 when G Money's interview with Say Cheese TV circulated online.
Tudo.
About his sister?
Yeah, I had fucked her a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he mad about that. He wasn't really tripping on it back then, though. You know what I'm saying? He be calling me big brother and shit. You hear me? I guess he just let that fame and shit get to his head. Now he feel like he just this new nigga, whoever he supposed to be, whoever he called himself.
He referenced YoungBoy's sister and made clear the two wouldn't make music together. Shortly after, he released Industry, a record widely read as a response record in that simmering back and forth. Tensions were no longer subtext. On September 10, 2017, tragedy hit Baton Rouge. G Money 22 was shot and killed in a parking lot on Dallas Drive outside a studio. Police found him at about 1:30 a.m. He died at the scene. The killing sent a shock through the city and froze a moment in time for TBG, whose members lost not just a lead artist but a friend and anchor. In June 2019, police arrested DeAndre DeMarcus Fields, known around Baton Rouge as Lil Pap, an associate of NBA, as a suspect in the murder. He was indicted on second-degree murder. Prosecutors and local reporting later described the killing as part of an escalating feud between the NBA and TBG camps. In January 2023, Fields accepted a plea agreement to a lesser accessory after-the-fact charge and received a 5-year sentence. Authorities did not convict him of murder. Instead, the deal acknowledged his role after the killing. This is how the official record stands today. For Fredo, G Money's death was both personal devastation and creative fuel.
How badly did it hit you?
I broke down and cried.
Yeah. You were saying, I think in the smalls, you were crying like a baby.
He would later title a 2020 project in the name of G, signaling plainly who and what his career now carried. But even before that tribute, Fredo's life had already detoured into the criminal justice system. In January 2016, months before G's murder, he was arrested in connection with a November 2015 shooting and charged with attempted second-degree murder, illegal use of a weapon, and aggravated criminal damage to property. He ultimately took a plea and served over 2 years. By May 2018, he was home. That arc, jail, grief, resolve, explains both the heaviness and urgency in the music he made after his release. His first wave of mainstream attention came fast. In July-August 2018, Fredo dropped Oouuh, a snarling, sticky single that exploded online and on YouTube. A remix featuring Kevin Gates arrived later, extending its reach across Louisiana and the South. Oouuh is the record most fans point to as the moment Fredo got hot, the one that made algorithms tilt and club DJs lock in. The song's chantable hook and clipped storytelling became his calling card. From there, Fredo converted momentum into projects. Most Hated served as his official studio debut and included records that cemented his post-viral identity. That same year, he released In the Name of G, a tribute through and through, Baton Rouge pain filtered into melody, a project that let the world know G Money would be remembered in track lists, not just murals. In 2020, he also cut Top, which later got a high-profile remix with Lil Durk and ultimately earned an RIAA Platinum certification, proof that a Baton Rouge street narrator could translate to charts without sanding off the edges. He would follow with additional projects, Murder Made Me, Two-Face Bang 2, and more, building out a catalog that kept the TBG perspective visible. Any full account of Fredo Bang has to address a delicate subject the internet often distorts: how the feud with NBA YoungBoy relates to G Money's death. Here are the facts as reported. Baton Rouge police and prosecutors described a simmering feud between NBA's camp and TBG that escalated by 2017. G Money's public comments and the diss track industry were part of that escalation. In June 2019, DeAndre Lil Pap Fields, an NBA associate, was arrested and later indicted for second-degree murder in the killing. In January 2023, he pleaded to accessory after the fact and received 5 years. While the feud context is central to law enforcement narratives, a murder conviction against the shooter was not obtained. The plea reflects what prosecutors believed they could prove. Nothing in the official record says Fredo personally orchestrated violence. What's clear is that he and G were on the opposite side of NBA's camp and were living inside a conflict bigger than music. Complicating Fredo's public story even more is a family tie that hip-hop fans still find hard to process. Boosie Badazz, another Baton Rouge legend, is Fredo's blood cousin. Both have acknowledged the relationship on air, including in Breakfast Club-adjacent coverage and interviews. But family doesn't erase politics. They've openly said that the city's lines and circumstances have made a collaboration difficult, if not impossible, so far. Fredo has even told stories about crossing paths with Boosie, swapping numbers, and then radio silence. It's Baton Rouge in a nutshell. Kinfolk within a city where choices can be bigger than family trees. As for what made Fredo start rapping in the first place, it wasn't a master plan. As a 14-year-old, friends told him he reminded them of Gucci Mane, pulled him into a home studio, and he stuck with it. That organic beginnings to buzz pipeline led to the early crew cut iPhone 6, then years of trial and life, arrests, losses, and brief surges, before the 2018 breakout. After getting out in May 2018, he previewed Oouuh a cappella and watched his following double within weeks, proving that the voice and perspective he honed in the shadows could command attention in daylight. Fredo's bond with G Money remains the through line. Listen to the way he frames grief and loyalty. It's not generic. It's Baton Rouge specific, names, blocks, and codes. On records and in interviews, he carries G as both a memory and a mission statement. Even the cadence of his hooks, melodic but weighed down, sounds like someone trying to keep a promise. When he named a project In the Name of G, he was telling fans and foes alike, TBG's voice didn't die in 2017. It evolved. The NBA YoungBoy chapter isn't written in absolutes either. Both artists built massive audiences after 2017, often releasing from different corners of the country while legal issues played out. Police and local outlets repeatedly linked broader violence in Baton Rouge and South Florida to tensions between the two camps, an ugly backdrop that made even charity events and holidays feel tense online. But in the music industry, time and success have a way of reframing narratives. As Fredo's catalog grows, a larger share of his reputation rides on the songs themselves rather than the crossfire of local politics.